the button pusher begins, making sure we're in all the right places.
That's my new title, button pusher.
The button pusher. I think I've been called that before by people close to
Mm.
me.
Okay, so it
We
is
all know how
telling
to push
me,
each other's buttons.
okay, hang on a second. We're having trouble streaming to your destination. It's possible the stream is ended and deleted. Okay, it's not streaming in the studio group, so let me go ahead and let's do our little workaround. Okay. The streaming software, when it works, man, it's on, but when it doesn't work, it is not on.
Michelle's
So
been
let
having a
me,
lot of trouble streaming into groups too.
so I'm going to go ahead and go over to the Grace and Grit business page because I know it's going in there. And I'm going to go ahead and share us over into our group. How about we do that? Because at this point, that's all I got.
Okay.
So I will say join us live here. And then I'll go ahead and at everyone in the group once it's over there so that we can get people that can find us easier. So right now we are just live on the business page, but we're going to be live in the studio in one moment in the group.
Well, hello to anyone on the business page watching us. We are going to let you know how absolutely wonderful our jobs are, all the perks of it, and why you should consider joining us. You shouldn't consider it. You should just do it. What does Yoda say? There is no try. There is only do.
So, sometimes we just don't stream properly in the right places, but that's okay because there's always a workaround. So I'm going to go ahead and just approve a couple more members. I think they're coming in from our elevation celebration. Mary Grace, how was that last night?
Oh my gosh. Unbelievable. Over 2,000 views.
Insane.
And that many or more comments because, yeah. And we definitely gave away our 30 signing bonuses. So I'm just thrilled to death that we have
Wow.
a minimum of 30 people joining our team. I'm thrilled for us, obviously, but I'm so thrilled for them. That's really what it comes down to in the end, is just that they're going to leave this with more than they came with. And who can't use some extra cash? Who can't use some extra jewelry? Who can't use an extra at a girl or at a guy? Like people just build them up and thinking they're so wonderful. So I'm thrilled.
That's actually a perk we never really talk about, and that's
Mm-mm.
the camaraderie among all of us, and the fact that if you're feeling a little down or if you need a little pick me up, there's always going to be somebody there that's gonna give that to you. And when you're part of a direct sales organization like ours, we definitely are intertwined in each other's
Yeah,
lives, and that's
absolutely.
really cool. That's really cool because you get the opportunity to make friends across the country, and really across the world if you're on trips and you go on them and you get to see those people. And
Yes.
it's just a camaraderie here that's awesome. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to say hi to Krista Kale because she's the first person that hopped on. So I want to say hi to her. I know
Hi. Oh my gosh. And
she's here.
she's had amazing results from our event. She invited a lot of people.
Amazing.
She's inspired and changed a lot of lives, that girl, Krista. So keep it up, Krista.
She's
So
doing a
excited
wonderful
to meet
job.
your
There's
teammates.
35 people watching, so I think we are streaming well enough now that we can see
Okay.
people and people can see us.
Good
So,
job,
ladies
Janine. What would I do without you?
I don't. You'd stream. You'd stream. You'd find a way to stream. Okay, so listen, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to tonight's free jewelry live stream. I love that we get to do this every single Monday night at 6 Central, 7 Eastern, right here in our Grace and Grit studio group and on our Grace and Grit business page. I have the absolute pleasure every Monday night to welcome and interview our executive company vice president, Mary Grace Lewandowski, and I get to ask her 4 simple questions about our opportunity. And I'm going to use one of her terms and say the price of admission for you guys is to listen to us until the end, fill out that Google form, and book that show. Because if
Yeah.
you book your show and you get started, you are going to come on next week with friends and they tell 2 friends and so on and so on. And you are going to open yourself up to one of the most beautiful
And
things you can do for
regardless,
you and your
yes.
family.
And regardless, when you fill out the Google form, that is your entry or your mission
Right.
ticket. That's what I pick from. And you
Yep.
get jewelry that's curated to your taste because you write down what
Mhm.
you like. And there's no requirement just to have listened. That's
Nope.
it, and fill out the form. And I just wanted to share with Janine and all the people on here. Sue Wall, I think her name is. She actually sent me a personal message today and said, "Oh my gosh, I won the jewelry from the free jewelry call, and I have wanted every single thing you sent me." So I really do try to go with what they have on there. So anyway, just wanted to let you guys know that, because I try to make it really special, and it's
I
handpicked
think
by me.
that's super important. I think the fact that you curate pieces to their absolute taste and that you take time in choosing those pieces for them, and you sometimes give them an entire ensemble. They might get a pair of earrings, a bracelet, a necklace. I mean, I think that is really cool. It's not like we're just throwing something tiny at them.
Something
We're
that's
giving them
left
something
over.
very
Yeah,
valuable.
exactly.
Yeah. And then if you win, you wear those pieces and you talk about Park Lane to other people, because jewelry is a conversation starter. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to ask Mary Grace 4 simple questions. She's going to answer them in very eloquently, in a way that you're going to be like, where do I sign up and how do I do this? And at the end, there's going to be a Google form for you to
No
fill
pressure.
out, and you will be entered. So no pressure at all. Mary Grace, let's start out with the quintessential question, which we've kind of added to over the past year and a half. But tell us a little bit about why direct sales. Where does that fit in with all of us? And how does that differ from the big word of MLM?
Yeah, MLM stands for multi-level marketing, for those individuals who have trouble with acronyms like I do. Multi-level marketing. And that's like if somebody says, "Oh, is that like one of those pyramid things?" Like neither one of these businesses, direct sales or multi-level marketing, are pyramid scams, because pyramid scams are illegal. And I always say that, every corporation for the most part is set up in that kind of way, where people work themselves up through the ranks. And if somebody's doing a really great job training and taking care of people, then they're making some nice income too. The difference between direct sales and multi-level marketing is multi-level marketing has a recruiting emphasis. That's the
Yes.
number one big thing. They want to recruit, bring people in, turn customers into reps, so that they're buying their own stuff, and their credit card generally is getting hit for a certain amount of something every month. It's like we all have those repetitive things on our credit cards, right? That we sign up for to get monthly. Here at Park Lane, we are actually a direct sales model, which means that we are more customer driven. We are more about the product and about showing the product. And direct sales means just that. We are the direct sellers. We are direct to consumer. We are the liaison between the company and the actual customer.
Right.
So, it's really, really creative and fun ways that we can do this, all different ways. And people just love that they have like a go-between, that they have someone. We literally work with people on how to show different ensembles, show, what particular colors or types of metals are going to look extra pretty on certain face frames or hair colors or whatever. So it's really great. We're really like stylists. Now, direct sales in a nutshell is owning your own business. It's running your own business with all of the perks and none of the overhead or risk. And that's why I got into it. My husband and I always thought like, oh, we were pretty, when it was just the two of us, we'd be like, oh, we have so much talent between the two of us. We need to start a business or whatever. Because he's really good with like that everything I'm not good at, which was everything. I'm not that good at anything, but enthusiasm. But we just absolutely loved that I could make my own hours. I could do it as little or as much as I wanted. No one else was telling me when to go to work. I got to pick when I would work, how it would work around our schedule. And the pay is so much more than like what you would make in a regular minimum wage job. And it's, most people, when they look at direct sales or anything like this, they're looking at a side gig. They're looking at an extra way. And I saw a stat the other day that 78% of people have a side gig. So they're just looking for an extra way to make money. And, you hear people talk about how much eggs cost or whatever, so it's kind of like it's that sort of thing. And direct sales is the answer, you guys, because if someone else is going to tell you how and when to go to work, that is gonna infringe on whatever life you have already established. But when you use your direct sales, you can work it around the life you already have established. And one of my favorite proponents of direct sales is a huge financial guru named David Bach. He is all about direct sales, and he said because when he was working with people to encourage them to save or invest money, And they said he found out 99% of us live paycheck to paycheck or beyond, and they didn't have money to invest. And he said when he discovered direct sales, he just thought that was like the mothership of wonderfulness, because he said, this is the answer. This is what you can do throughout the year and take that money and invest in. It's going to make a huge difference in your future. So
Mhm.
that was a
Huge.
pretty good
I
answer,
love
right?
when you talk about David Bach. I actually dropped the Amazon link to his book, The Automatic Millionaire, because I think it's that good. It's a really good read. So I think it's something
It
that
sure
if
is.
these people, these 42 ladies and gentlemen are on this call today, I think this might be something you'd be interested in. So, okay, now that we know what direct sales is and how we are direct sales party plan and we're personal shoppers and stylists, why jewelry? How does jewelry fit into that?
That's something to think about, isn't it? And something you and I really didn't consider. Because
Not
here's
at
the
all.
deal, you guys. Our company is the only company that will hire people at a level, a pay level, and a title level that recognizes the experience they had at another direct sales company. When you take the time to think about that, that is how like every other corporate job in the world works, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you've had experience as a supervisor or whatever, you're not going to start over as the
No.
person like cleaning the bathrooms kind of thing. Maybe someone just worked themselves up. So where I'm going with this though is Gina and I both, and most, in fact, if they're on here, um, give us a heart or whatever, but there's lots of fashion stylists on here that were with other direct sales companies. And
Yep.
most of us, I would say, chose that company because we lucked into it. I used to call it serendipity, finding good fortune as if by accident. So maybe Janine's was baskets, and I think you were a collector and you just loved them and you thought, I love them so much, I need to sell them so I can get them for myself. Mine was I went to a candle party and I had never even heard of direct sales. And I thought, oh, and I was always leaving my options open. So I just wrote, yes, I would like some information. And then we got into those companies and we loved them. We were loyal, but we didn't ever look around to see, oh, I know I want to do direct sales. What should I do? Had we done that, 100% of us say, oh my gosh, we were missing the boat when we weren't doing jewelry, because jewelry is the place to be. And I'm going to tell you why. If you were to Google direct sales, or I'm thinking of doing direct sales, one of the steps of advice that would come up would be like, choose a product that you love, which is true. But I am going to challenge that and tell you that it's even smarter to choose a product that most other people love. Okay.
Right.
So it's like jewelry, and the Levines, the people that own our company, chose jewelry because they hired three different, I always forget that word,
Oh,
contract
consultants.
consultants, for advice. I
Good
don't
that
know
I
why I
know.
can't
Good
think
that
of
I
that
know
word.
what you're gonna say.
I always want to say contractors or something.
It's
But they
okay.
hired three different consultants and they said, hey, would you guys advise us? And they didn't tell the consultants. They were all from different companies. They didn't tell them that they'd hired the others because they really wanted a non-biased, straight, factual, what should we do? So they said, hey, go do some research. Come back and tell us what product. The Levines knew they wanted to use the direct sales model, but they had no jewelry wasn't on the radar. But all three of those people came back with jewelry as the number
Mm.
one, and by far. And they're like, okay, tell us why. So that's what I'm about to tell you. And what now I've lived it. You would have just been going by my advice 15 years ago, but boy, I've lived all of this. Okay. And I'm like, how did I not ever even think about this? So, first of all, the market. I mean, jewelry is a universally appealing item. Okay.
Right.
Men, women, everything in between. Number one gift, one of the number one gifts in the world. Purchased for men, for women, by men, for women, by women for men. All of it. Okay.
Yes.
It just transcends everything. It transcends time. It's been around since the BCs or whatever. And it is oh my God, it's a $42 billion industry, which
Mm.
is going up, 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 up every year. For huge, huge increases is forecasted for the next years. It's considered a consumable product. I love to tell that one because having sold candles, like
Hmm.
Janine's thing was the collectible. My thing
Hmm.
was the consumable, right? So
Right.
I'm like, they use them up, they're going to come back over and over. Well, guess what? Fashion is considered consumable. And it
Yeah.
is. It changes
Yeah.
with the outfits and the trends and, the
Amazing.
fashions and the people. And it's just unbelievable. Okay, seasons. So people do not just buy one piece of jewelry and say, I'm done.
No.
It's like a wardrobe. They want to update it all the time. And okay, so those are the pluses from the end as far as a customer. Now, like, look at it from our perspective. Now we sell jewelry, right? Where is our jewelry? How do people know about our jewelry? It's out in the world on our
Mm-hmm.
customers and on our hostesses and stuff, and they're referring people back to us. We're wearing our own jewelry. So, literally, everywhere we go, we get compliments. And then it's so easy to just segue into, oh my gosh, that's what I do. I represent a jewelry line out of Chicago. I'd love to send you my card or whatever, or give you my card. So, that is perfect for us. We know what to do. When we are talking about MLMs, several of them are like nutrition based, and those people have homework, they have to learn the ingredients and everything or
True.
what's going on. And, anything can, anything that people are going to put into their bodies or on their bodies, there's a risk that it might not have that it might have some kind of reaction or something. Who
Desirable
knows?
effect. Yeah.
But, with candles, there was a risk that people were going to light things on fire. I mean, seriously, with jewelry, it's like, okay, pretty safe thing to sell. Also, there's no training really because we know where it goes. If you know where a necklace goes, you are fit to sell Park Lane, So we love that aspect of it. So there are a lot of powerful, and so easy to ship in store, very inexpensive to ship in store. So a lot of benefits to it. And had I been savvy, instead of just falling into direct sales, and had I thought, okay, which I was the second time when my company was in trouble, I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna really do my homework because this is like a major at Harvard now, direct sales. You guys, it is a very recognized, very well paying industry. So you really want to pick a product that is going to give you the best leg up before you begin on the other stuff.
And
It's my
you are
jewelry.
looking at two people who have been doing this a really long time. And I think that these are the people, plus the people that invited you here, that you need to pick their brain because
Yeah.
those are the people that are doing the job. They have boots on the ground and they've been in other places and they know why Park Lane is the best and why
Yeah.
direct is the best. So let's
Yeah.
go into, since we talked about this, how about you giving us a couple tips on, like where does Park Lane fit into this? Like why Park Lane jewelry?
Yeah, because once you think, oh yeah, it is smart.
Yeah.
Jewelry is the place to be. Then you're up against like, okay, there's other jewelry companies. Why Park Lane? And that is actually how I was narrowing my funnel when I was looking for a new home. And I actually have shared this story before, but really briefly, I was offered like a corporate position in another very well-known direct sales jewelry company. I wouldn't have had the flexibility. I wouldn't have had the money that I
Right.
make here. I mean, really, the field is the best place to be, and everyone in corporate will tell you that too. Okay. But it's very flattering. But when I looked at Park Lane and I looked at this other company, I ended up choosing Park Lane, obviously. And I'm going to tell you a couple of reasons that I did, because all these other companies are wonderful. I'm not saying they weren't wonderful, but I'm going to tell you
Right.
why I picked Park Lane. One thing that I thought was huge was our variety. So, if you think about it, most of the other jewelry companies have a certain market. And remember, I told you that we're so happy we have a big market. So it's like, why narrow it down? So other companies might be just pearls, just crystals, just charms. So you guys, just silver. So you guys are probably thinking right now, like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Park Lane has everything and every type of style. And my customers have like said how much they love that too. Okay.
Right.
So that was big. The other thing was its longevity. My other company went out of business. So did Janine's. We were very concerned about being okay. You know? Park Lane has been around since 1955. They're debt free and they're cash rich. They have made so many brilliant decisions that honestly, nobody can touch them as far as what they're able to do for the
Right.
field. And the
Right.
field are our customers, our hostesses, and us. And they have the richest programs in all of direct sales. People can't touch our programs because of the aforementioned pluses. Okay. So we have the most generous customer program where it's buy two for regular, get four for half. spend 90 and get a $35 item. You know what? Our customers love this sale. People just love a sale and they love to repeat it and they love to share it with other people. Think how advantageous that is for all of us. It's just wonderful. And then, when I talked about people going out in the world with our jewelry on, our people go out in the world with like 6, 8 pieces per order of jewelry on. So
Yes.
just think of the tentacles that puts out there for us. This is big stuff. So very generous. And the customer's so happy. Her friend who hosted the party is so happy because her friend is happy and she felt really proud to introduce her to the sale. It's just like when we share a great restaurant or a great sale. We want people coupons. We want people to know, right?
Yeah.
We're so generous to our hostesses where it isn't based on how much your friends spend. It's based on just how many orders are collected. I
Yeah.
loved that because I was a teacher when I started direct sales and my friends never spent very much. We didn't have much money. So I never was like really bringing it in as far as hostess benefits when I was hosting any kind of show. And I didn't want people to feel embarrassed that they didn't have a lot of money to spend. With Park Lane, someone who spends $20 has just contributed as much to your show as someone who took advantage of the whole sale, and I love
Mm-hmm.
that. And then, of course, I don't mean to be mercenary, but the truth of the matter is, every single one of us, not everyone, but most of us, did this because we wanted some extra cash.
Sure.
So I love that our customers are so happy spending like on the average of $100 because they're getting so much and we get paid on the $100. So I had a couple friends that were like, why don't maybe we should sell that $5 jewelry. And I'm like, okay, but how much could you possibly bring in and how much of that would you have and how many complaint calls are you taking, because it's $5 jewelry, so it's not going to last. And it doesn't. That's not their thing. But here at Park Lane, we have an unconditional guarantee. So
Yeah.
I knew that wherever I went, I really honestly, and you can tell by my voice and my demeanor, very enthusiastic about what I do. I wanted to honestly be able to say that I was representing the best and the richest programs. So those are the reasons that I chose Park Lane, and those are the reasons that I really think everyone should. People that just land here by accident, like we did in our first drive, they don't even know what they have. If they ever heard what the other companies had, they'd be like, what? Instead, those of us hear what this company has and go, what? Like we just couldn't believe how generous Park Lane is. Now, everything in the whole world that you could ever want is here and available at Park Lane. And the number one thing that they worry about is the field, is us. Okay, they're family owned. They have brothers and sisters and cousins that work in the field. They're not going to make decisions that are going to hurt us because they're not going to hurt their own family, right?
True.
So one thing they're really big on, they've heard, they compare other things. And one of the things they always heard that was such a soul crusher for people were when they worked for other companies that took away their title or took away certain pay or took away parts of their programs. Park Lane does not do that. We have no minimums. So whatever so if I came in as a company vice president, I could take a couple months off and I would still be a company vice president. And if you've ever
President.
done
Yeah.
direct sales, you know how special that is.
Very
Okay.
powerful.
Yes. So no minimums in it. They're like, how is it fair that your title and your pay get impacted by other people? Like if other people can't work, that's not your fault. So very good. What they do instead is incentivize us with just about anything anyone could ever imagine. Of course, most of it comes from within because we love what we do and we love to get paid every week. Okay. But it also gives you goals which help you reach higher. So we have 2 trips a year. Pretty soon we're all leaving for St. Thomas. The one after that is Switzerland. The one after that is Cancun. And we don't know what the one after that is just yet. But every 6 months we can travel for free. I'd like to tell those of you that never have done direct sales or were just wonderful customers, the smartest way to get your jewelry is to be a rep. Because imagine if everything that you bought,
Right.
you also were getting 30 to 50% back every week in a paycheck. It's a friends and family discount. It's huge. And you have like first dibs at all of the stuff that drops and all the new stuff. So we love it. We love to share it with you. We won't be a rep just for that. But we also can earn bunches of free jewelry every month. So we can earn, I think it's a $1,100,
11.
$1,200 worth
Yeah.
of jewelry per
Yeah.
month if we meet all the certain stipulations. But even if it's just 250, that's an easy reach. But we earn free jewelry every single month. And
Mm-hmm.
even my husband once, God love him, he's not here anymore, but he said once, he goes, Mary Grace, we are so thrilled with what you make, obviously. And he goes, but we can't even put a price on how much of the gifting you do for free, because it's my jewelry. So when I earn
Yeah.
it, I can use it for gifts, incentives, whatever. A car bonus. And if there's any questions out there, Janine, I can't see the comments, but if there was anything else, we just feel like whatever it is that floats your boat, we have we have the water.
It's all right here. It's all right here.
It's all
So
right here.
let me ask everybody watching, because there's 59 people watching right now. I would love to know, since I learned many moons ago that when you go to a presentation or when you are sitting listening to someone talking, we really only grasp a couple things that they're saying. They could talk for hours. You only ever grasp a couple things. So my question to you is, what has Mary Grace said so far that really, really hit home for you? I want you to drop in the comments and let us know. I mean,
Yeah.
did it have to do with the fact that you can travel with Park Lane? Did it have to do with the fact that, she talked about what direct sales was and how there's a personal aspect to it? Was it no quotas, no minimums? Like, what was it that jumped out at you?
Mhm.
Drop it in the comments and let us know. I'd love to read some of those. And in the meantime, Mary Grace, I'd love for you to tell these men and women that are watching us right now, why is now the perfect time for them to schedule their decider show and get started?
Well, from a fashion standpoint, it's perfect because we're switching seasons. So whenever you're in
Right.
any kind of transitional time, people are really looking at their wardrobes. They're looking to update their wardrobes. They're looking to literally transition. So, even if it's still cold where you are, which I know it is where you are, and I know it is where I am,
Mm,
you also can make your outfit start to look a little springier, even if you have to still wear sweaters or whatever. And
yeah.
accessorizing is so powerful. The kit is $129. Now, normally for the $129, you get your own personal website. You get access to back office. There's no credit card. There's no hidden fees at Parklake. There's nothing
No.
you're going to all of a sudden start paying for that you weren't expecting. The 129 gives you the tools that you need to get out there and do your business. Also, the jewelry. So for $129, normally you get to pick $500 worth of jewelry. Right
Hmm.
now, through Wednesday, they're running that you get $700 worth of jewelry.
Yep.
$700 worth of jewelry for 129. Now, mind you,
That's a
too,
deal right there.
the $129 is a tax write-off. Anything that, like, if you decide to join us today, anything 5 minutes ago that was an expense can become a write-off, which is absolutely wonderful on your taxes. And for some reason, the guys really love that one. I hate to stereotype, but it's true. The husbands or whatever, they love that. Um, and then you have the $129, and you get to pick out your jewelry right away. And what you do is you schedule your promotional
Decide.
party, we call it.
Promotional.
Okay.
Whatever you want
We
to
have
call
to
it.
let
Yeah.
the world know that you're going to be doing this. Okay. 78% of my reps do strictly online. 9% of them do strictly in home. And there's
Hmm.
a lot of us that are hybrid that do a little bit of both. Right. So we do this show for you. We do all the work. You're just inviting your friends. You
Right.
get to pick out more jewelry as the hostess, and you get the paycheck because it was your show, even though we did it. So it's kind of like a what's that called? On the job training, with pay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So by the time the credit card comes with the 129 due, you've already made that back and then some. So I really do love to tell people, like, you will leave Park Lane with more than you came with if you do
Yeah.
one show. And of course we
True.
want you to love it and have more. But they make it really, when people worry about a risk, that Park Lane's taking the risk and they can
Mhm.
afford to. They can afford to, and most companies can't. So those are all the good why now questions. Why now
I love how
answers.
you answer that. I've always loved that. And I love the fact that all you need to do is contact the stylist that invited you here today. She thought enough of you, or he thought enough of you to ask you to come listen.
Yeah, we can
And
work
all
with
you have to
whoever
do,
we want.
yeah, we can
I'm
work with
sorry.
whoever
That
we
we
want.
get to decide who we want to work with.
Yeah,
You
we
know.
get to pick.
Yeah.
But definitely work with that stylist. Go ahead and schedule a show. A show's going to help that stylist no matter if you sign up or you don't. Okay, so you're helping a friend
Oh, I
basically.
know. I love that.
But you can go ahead and do that. Schedule your party, do the party, and then after the party's over, you can make the decision. That's the best part about this. You can decide, would I like the jewelry? and the paycheck, or do I just want the jewelry and I'm going to let her or
Yeah.
him have the paycheck?
Yeah.
Nobody's going to be angry with you. Nobody has any different expectation other than to help you do something that maybe would really help your family by adding an additional income stream of Park Lane. If
Right.
you have any questions, you most certainly can go back to your stylist that invited you here and ask them, or drop a message in our chat and we would be happy to answer you. Mary Grace, thank you for taking the time
Thank
tonight.
you. Thank you, everybody, so much.
I
It's
did
one of my
drop
favorite
the
parts.
Google form in there. So it's
Yeah.
in.
Right.
It's in the description in the studio, and it's also I dropped it in the comments. So the Google form
Yeah.
is there.
And
Plus, if you go to our Grace and Grit Studio group, the group at the top, it is actually pinned up there. So it's there all the
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So
Thanks for joining, guys. Thank you
it
very
was
much,
wonderful
Janine.
spending time with all of you. Thanks, Mary
Yeah.
Grace. I appreciate it.
Letting me talk over you, Janine. I'm sorry.
We talk over each other. We're used to it. The killer about this is no matter how much you try to make a stream like you're sitting face to face, you're not. So
No.
we're used to it. We're totally
Well,
used to it.
oh my God.
you
And
know,
I would so talk over you in real life too.
we've done that before too.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great night. And we'll see you back here next Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central. Bring a friend and let her or him experience the ability to win free jewelry with Park Lane Jewelry. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a
Bye,
great night.